Hi guys, how you doing? Obviously, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a little while, or you've been watching some of my videos, you'll know I have quite a strong interest in unarmed historical European martial arts. I practice swordsmanship as well, and have done for almost 2 decades. But my real focus of interest for the last 6 or 7 years has been the unarmed side of martial arts. You go back and watch the videos, you'll see all sorts of things. I talk about catch wrestling, I talk about classical pugilism. What you may not know is that I run an international event as well. It's an event that happens every 6 months, approximately, and it's called the Noble Science. What happens is we take over the Grange, which is in the Midlands. It's not far from Coventry. If you're involved in the HEMA community, it's where Fight Camp happens. If you've been to Fight Camp, you know the Grange. It's a fantastic venue. And we take it over in April and November, approximately. And we do a whole weekend of nothing but unarmed HEMA. And there's an event coming up in November the 21st and 22nd this year, to be precise. And it's looking very much like it's going to be the absolute best event yet. It's got to the point where there are just so many instructors and so many different arts to try and fit in that we just can't do it. There's no way I can get everybody that I want to teach at a single event. And because of that, it means you've got to be a little bit picky. But I've managed to get hold of a couple of people for this next event that I've been really wanting to get to come down and teach me for quite some time. So I'll tell you a bit about it. The instructors we've got confirmed so far are, we've got Scott Patterson, who runs the Old English Self-Defense Company and the Fitness Dojo. He's doing the first session, our warm-up for us. He specialises in kind of old-time, strongman type stuff and bodyweight exercises and weird things like that. And he's going to do a very short but quite intense warm-up session for us, high intensity interval training. And we're going to go straight from that onto another very short session by a guy called Michael Noel Jones. Michael's fairly active in the UK HEMA community. He runs a Bartitsu club in Basingstoke. He's also a 4th Dan in Budo Taijutsu. And because of that, he's very good at teaching throws and landing and falling safely. So we've got another small session, which is, we're going to do at the beginning of the day. So we've got Scott's warm-up and we've got Michael's session. And we're going to hopefully do these sessions on both days, just to get people used to getting on the floor, hitting the ground safely, and so on and so forth. Other people we've got coming along, we've got Scott Mellier. Scott was at the last one as well. Scott's a fantastic guy. I met him at the Snake Pit quite some time ago, where we were both training in catch under Roy Wood. But Scott's got far more wrestling background than I have. He competes internationally, as does his teammate son Aaron, in Scottish backhold wrestling. And he's really very good at it. He came to the last event, as I said, and he taught for us there, and it was one of my favourite sessions of all time. It's something a little bit different, and a lot of fun, and his approach to it is great. And the nice thing about Scott's stuff is that you know it works. There's no denying that what he shows you works. Get on YouTube, have a look, watch him or Aaron compete. I think Aaron currently is the European champion. So this stuff really works, and it's an awful lot of fun. Who else have we got coming now? We've got Sue Kirk coming to do Indian clubs. Sue's been a regular at the Noble Science for a little while. She's been teaching HEMA for years. Used to be, I think she was president or secretary of the British Federation for Scotland Swordplay. Can't remember which. If you're in HEMA, you almost certainly know Sue. She's doing a session on Indian clubs for us. She's great at Indian clubs. She's got a real enthusiasm for it and has been doing it for years. And what we're going to do is have that as like a secondary warm-up after lunch. I should probably say at this point, lunch is thrown in. If you pay for the event, you get your lunch free. We've got Chris Crossan coming down from Teesside. Chris, again, is somebody I met at the Snake Pit. And Chris is coming down to teach catch-can wrestling. Now, I've always taught a catch-can wrestling session at the Noble Science. But I'm really pleased that I'm not going to be teaching this time, that I've got Chris doing it. Chris is fantastically good. He was a very successful and very skilled Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player before he discovered catch wrestling. And like a lot of these top-level guys, it's kind of revolutionised the way he wrestles and grapples. He's fantastically good. He's really good at neck cranks and cross faces and grommets and setting them up. I don't know what he's teaching, he hasn't told me yet, but what I do know, knowing Chris, that it's going to be fantastic. He's a big guy, he's very strong, he's incredibly skilled, and he's really, really nice. You couldn't meet a nicer guy. Often the case with a really highly skilled wrestlers. And Chris has competed internationally in catch wrestling, bear that in mind. So he's coming, he's doing that. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Who else have we got? Christopher Halpin-Dermott. Now Chris, he runs a HEMA school in York, and he's one of those people that I've known on the periphery of HEMA for a little while, but we've never really met because I'm based way down in the south now and he's based up in Yorkshire. And when I was up in Yorkshire 15 years ago teaching HEMA, there weren't many other people around. At that time, I think Chris was still doing Jiu-Jitsu. He hadn't discovered HEMA, and now he has, and he's running a school up there. And we actually, our paths finally crossed at Fight Camp this year. I wasn't able to do his session, but the people that did came away from it so enthusiastic and so pleased with what he'd been showing that I straight away I said, look, you've got to come to the Noble Science. You've got to come and teach something like this at the Noble Science. Haven't told you what it was yet, have I? He taught a session on Glima. He's trained under Danny Hoskins, who is a certified international Glima instructor, travels all over the world, he's based over in the States, comes over here regularly, and Chris is trained with him. And we're going to be doing a session on traditional Scandinavian Glima. I'm not going to say too much more about it because it's not that I know anything about it really. I know that there are different forms of Glima, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great session. And I'm a bit sad that I missed the one at Fight Camp, but I'm really glad that I'm not going to be missing the one at the Noble Science. I've almost certainly missed someone. There are a number of people that I'm trying to get to come along. I'll tell you what I've missed, and I'm going to kick myself for this, but not quite as hard as he's going to hit me for it. Mark Randall. Mark is one of the most senior guys within the English Martial Arts Academy, my personal group. When Mark first started training with me many years ago, he was already a really experienced martial artist. He'd done a lot of Kung Fu, and he'd done a lot of Krav Maga, and a lot of self-protection, and he's got a really firm grounding in what actually works and what doesn't. And he kind of very quickly discovered a real passion for pugilism and old-time bare-knuckle boxing. And he's brilliant. There's no two ways about it. At this event, Mark will be the only instructor that has taught at every single Noble Science event that we've run. And I was very tempted to say, well, I'm not teaching the catch, so I'll do the pugilism class. But to be honest, there's something about the way Mark teaches that I love. And I'm really excited that I'm going to be able to do classes and not have to teach. He's got a thing for Daniel Mendoza. Whether he'll be teaching Mendoza's stuff at this Noble Science, he hasn't told me. He's dropped a few hints that Bill Richmond is involved. And I'm really intrigued by that, because Bill Richmond was a fantastically skilled fighter and coach, who was a former slave who won his freedom and came across to the UK and competed at the very top levels and ended up training some of the very, very most successful fighters. So if it's got anything to do with Bill Richmond, I'll be thrilled. Mark's sessions are always the most popular at any event. He's great. He's taught at a few different clubs around the country, and he's getting more and more popular. So we're really glad that he's there. There are a few people that I'm waiting for confirmation of before the event runs. I'm hoping to get James Marwood, who's been a member of various different groups over the years, who's a very well-known artistic practitioner and a self-protection instructor. But I'm looking at him to do a theoretical session, looking at and some of the aspects around the theory of violence. James is a fantastic knowledgeable guy and is a brilliant charismatic presenter. And he did a session like this for us a little while ago, I think it was a year ago, and it was absolutely fantastic. I'm really hoping to get him back. Greg Hall came and did a session for us last time on Fairburn Sykes World War II combatives. It was fantastic. Greg's brilliant. There's no two ways about it. Greg is probably one of the most knowledgeable and well-rounded martial arts teaching in the UK at the moment. And I'm really hoping to get him back again. He said that he might be teaching, if he comes, the aspects of Defense Nomaru that influenced Bruce Lee when he sets up Jeet Kune Do. So it's got that crossover between Eastern and Western martial arts, which is where Greg excels. So that's where we are at the moment. It's booking up very quickly. We're well over half full, and at the moment, it's looking like for the first time this event is going to be at its absolute maximum level. So if you are thinking of coming along, please book ASAP. If you know you are coming and you can't afford the booking fee straight away, because obviously if it's before payday, you might need to wait a few days before that comes through, then drop me a message, get in touch with me, talk to me. You know, I'll quite happily hold you at a place for a small deposit and you can pay the rest later on. What I want is to get as many people along as possible. This is a fantastic event, and the more we can spread the word on Unarmed HEMA, the better. These guys, the guys that come along, are an amazing bunch. It's quite a small event, as HEMA events go. Fight camp, there's about 200 people or so. At the Noble Science, we're probably looking at about 30 to 40 people, absolute maximum. So you get a real intimate feeling, you get a lot of training, and it's a fantastic event. It's probably the highlight of my HEMA year. So check it out, thenoblescience.com. Obviously, I'll stick a link in the comments down below or the description. And yeah, I really, really look forward to seeing you there. Anyway, I've been talking about it for a long time now, so I'll shut up. But honestly, it's awesome. Come to the Noble Science. See you later, guys.